From the NZ Drummer Podcast and AndrewRooneyDrums.com, it's the Student's Guide to Drum Lessons. Here are your hosts, Chris Dawson and me, Andrew Rooney. And we're back.
Hi.
My voice was like an octave deeper for that, eh?
It's deeper than mine.
Squeaky Dawson over there.
No, it's the chair.
All right, man. So we thought it might be nice to wrap up just some general thoughts on teaching and, some maybe common questions that we get asked. Anything you want to finish off with?
I think that one of the ones that is, how long is it going to take me to get good? Or from the parent's perspective, how long is it going to be before my child becomes good? And whatever that good is, who knows what good is? Is good just to play a song? Is good to get into a band? Is good to become well known as a artist? So, and that's where it's very, very hard to actually answer that question. It was like, how long is a piece of string? I practiced a lot. I realized what it was that I wanted to do. I had a job. At the time, I left the job and I just turned my work day into my practice day. So that was basically straight out of the gate. From that point, I was practicing 8 hours a day. And then after a couple of weeks of practicing 8 hours a day, I said to myself, what was it that I used to do after that 8 hours? When I came back from work, I would practice drums, usually for 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours or whatever I could do. So I ended up practicing more. So sometimes I was being stupid and practicing 12 hours a day. And it was like, there was a lot of practice. And so I mention this to my students about how much practice you can do. I think about how many hours like say Dennis Chambers has done or those sort of things. And we've talked briefly before about the 10,000 hour rule, all that sort of stuff. Yep. So I always mention things like, okay, you need to be doing, at the beginning, start off with 10 minutes a day. Just do 10 minutes a day. See if you can get that happening. And then get further and further into it. I always like to mention as well about the enjoyment factor, which we've talked about. Briefly. So you've got to enjoy what it is you're doing. If you're not enjoying it, you're not going to pursue it at all. No. If you are going to do, say, half an hour practice, on the things that I want you to do, practice that for half of that. So a quarter of an hour, you practice your rudiments, your sticking, maybe the song that we're working on. And then the other quarter of an hour, you play whatever you want. Put on a set of headphones, play along to whatever music you can. It doesn't matter if it's right. You need to play. You need to be on the kit. You just got to get on there. It's going to take you years. It's not going to be, it's not Pantene. Maybe it is Pantene. What is the Pantene thing? It won't happen overnight, but it will happen.
The frustrating thing is you don't know when it's happened either.
That's right.
All of a sudden, out of the blue, people just start saying, hey, man.
That's right.
You sound really good. And then you think,
how's that like?
Maybe that worked.
With rock beat number 1, isn't that was a moment for me. We'd play that basic rock beat for quite a few years. And then it was like at this one time I was playing, I can't remember what I'd been doing. I was just practicing. I think I might have been thinking, I need to nail this beat because I don't think I'm playing it well enough. Yep. Thinking about the concepts of how you can play that one beat differently, bass drum heavy, snare drum heavy, hi-hat heavy, or all of them all at the same volume or whatever. And I was working on that concept, playing, the bass drum real heavy, and then worked on that, would play for maybe 30 minutes just playing like that.
Wow.
And then 30 minutes playing the next one, 30 minutes playing the next one, that sort of thing. And then went to the gig and people noticed it.
Yeah.
And I was like going, right, I've figured it out.
Hard work pays off.
I've got to sit down and every beat that I want to play, I have to spend that amount of time playing the beat. And so, which each cover song that I ever did, it's like, okay, I know the structure of the song. Now I've got to get that beat and I've got to play it over and over again, over and over again till it feels good. Because it's got a feeling, right? There's that feeling. And so trying to mention this to the parent, but break it down a lot, going, okay, you could probably play a song within a month.
You can get through it.
You can get through a song.
Start to finish.
But there's a lot more to do it. Than
that's the old Phil Rudd thing, isn't it? Oh, exactly. I could do that.
Yeah, that's right.
But you don't sound anything like Phil Rudd.
You don't sound, Or the amount of people that say, I can play Smoke on the Water on guitar or something like that. But they've only play that first, the intro part. It's like, you don't know anything about the rest of the song. It's like, you've scratched the surface, but it's going to take a lot longer. And hopefully, as a teacher, we inspire them enough, and then they hopefully get the bug, just like what I'm sure that you did, and I definitely did. You get the bug, and you just can't stop wanting to know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love it when you get those students and they get it all of a sudden, and then they come to you with like, this is what I did, rather than having to be prompted. So what did you do this week? Oh, I didn't have much time this week.
That's right. A lot of people are just going to shake their heads at even the thought of practicing 8 to 12 hours a day. And I don't think we're advising anybody should be doing that, or especially, young kids or whatever. I totally agree. Has to be fun. That is the first thing I'm ensure. I hope the drum lessons here are a lot of fun and you're learning stuff and we're learning your favorite songs. That's amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's just no avoiding the work.
It's got to be done.
And thinking back when we previously spoke about teachers that we had, and I was really on a search for the perfect teacher who could show me a secret or the secret, an exercise that was going to get me really fast, or this was going to fast track me to this. That went on for years until I realized that I can't outsource the actual work.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, different teachers would give me the same exercise.
You go, why are they giving me the same thing?
That didn't work with the last guy. And it's just purely because I wasn't putting in the time.
That's right.
A good way to know if you're on the right track, I guess, is to record yourself, have a listen back. I record all my students, record songs and all that kind of thing, and it's awesome. And the other one that I think is so key is slowing things down.
Yeah.
Again, it's just not rocket science, and we hear this over and over, but we ignore it. I was going to say 99%. 100% of my students play things too fast.
They do. You have those two tempos, right? You've got your slow and then my slow. That's what you say to them. Okay, that's great. Now play my slow. And they go, ooh, I can't do that. And then they ultimately will speed up again.
So let's look at why you can't do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing what happens. And you eventually get it down to literally right, left, and then it's like, well, you just did it.
That's right.
Now we've got something to actually work with here.
Now you can, let's increase the speed slowly.
There's definitely no rush, right?
No, it's not a race. It's certainly not a race. I think that maybe you do feel like that sometimes, though. You go, well, I'm looking at, whatever famous drummer it is, and you go, well, they're there now. So I've got to be there now.
Instagram shred.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the Instagram shred, right? I think we may have touched on that another podcast about how many times did they record that before they got to the actual one that they wanted.
One fill.
That one fill, and so it's not true.
No.
It's not the real
It's a bit of an illusion.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we've talked before as well about how useful that is anyway.
That's right.
Even if you can play it.
Exactly.
This incredibly complicated fill that will lose the entire band. Maybe one other thing that I always had confused was I wanted to get good to get into the band.
Right.
It should be the exact opposite. Get into a band.
Yeah.
And then you'll get good.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't wait, I don't think.
No. Yeah, that's for sure. It's another one I'll mention to students as well. Get yourself into a band. Just get your friends together and play badly together. That's great.
Yeah.
It happened to heaps of bands, Nirvana was one. I think
garage band, right?
Yeah, they said they were awful. It's completely awful. And then it happened. It's not to say that it will happen, but you need to be interacting with people.
You need to be awful.
Yeah, you do.
Because you're going to be awful.
Yeah.
You may as well just get it out of the way.
Yeah, you got to be awful at some point.
Chris, where can we find you if anyone did want to reach out?
Well, let me see now. You could email me if you like on chris.jazzdrama@gmail.com. That would be great.
Beautiful.
And how about you, Andrew Rooney?
Well, thanks for asking. You can hit me up at andrewrooneydrums.com or andrewrooneydrums@gmail.com.
I might give you a call.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Come in and work on some little thingies. Yeah. Beautiful. Hopefully this has been informative and helpful and maybe something a little bit different for the podcast, something new. Absolutely. Any questions, just hit us up. Oh, actually, hit Chris up.
Yeah, hit me up. Then I'll pass you on to Andrew.
Awesome. Take it easy
Okay,
and see you next time.